Hey, this is Susan, and I wanted to talk to you today about the workshops that I'm doing at the end of July this year in Slovenia. On the Saturday evening, we're doing the channeling like we normally do, and then an activation afterwards. And the concept this year is manifestation versus creation. Very powerful. Last year we did the abundance plan. We did an activation on that, and as a result, I know a lot of you started businesses you've been wanting to for years. Some of you were confronted with what was holding you back, so you've been working on that because it pushes everything forward, which is brilliant. I'm really happy about that. But I know that some fantastic things happened for many of you actually. And so what we're going to do in this session is take it up a notch. We're going to take it up even more. And when you talk about creation, it's very important to understand the vibration in which you're wanting to access. And creation is a very interesting thing because we also uncreate. So we have had very heavy programs on this planet around uncreating. And those programs involve guilt, regret, anger, fear, doubt, jealousy, envy, all of that. You're in the process of uncreating when you're experiencing that sort of thing. So it's going to be a lot harder for you to manifest. Can you imagine what it's like if you didn't have that? So you can still create the life that you want and manifest in the process of having all this anger and all this shit running. Can you imagine just for a moment what it would be like? How much stronger you would be if you were in your power? So that's what we'll be doing on the Saturday from 6 till 9. We'll be doing that. But on the Sunday, this is what I'm really excited about. A friend of mine asked me actually to do this from Slovenia, so I had a thought about it and I thought, well, why not? I love working with crystals. I've actually been working with crystals for over 35 years. I used to teach them in Sydney, and in fact I was the woman who would go around and do crystal grids for a lot of the crystal shops. There was a big one in the Argyle Arts Centre in Sydney that a lot of people would know about and remember. I did the grid in that to stop people from passing out and getting headaches when they go in there, because you go into some of these shops and there's so much energy that you become overwhelmed and you can't think clearly, so you can't choose a crystal. And I did them in the mountains, I did them throughout Sydney and Glebe and places like that, and I used to run a lot of workshops on them, and of course I often use crystal grids in a lot of my work. And this friend of mine asked me to share that information. I thought, what a great idea. And then we thought, well, why don't we do an activate your creation with crystal grids. So it's really activate your life with crystal grids. That's what it's about. And I just want to, just for a moment, touch on this, because a lot of people don't realise that crystals are actually an energy, and they're a very strong energy. They're a living force, a bit like our animals. But crystals they use in radios, computer chips, and all electronics, because they store information. And some of the crystals that we have that have risen to, up to the surface, have information stored in them and can be stored with information. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to cleanse our crystals properly from the journey that they've been on. We're going to learn how to powerfully activate the crystal. And then we're going to learn how to create a grid which incorporates all the crystals you want to use and bring them together as a whole. It's a bit like, when you want to create something and you have a group of friends with you and they say, that's a great idea, I'll help you. One can do this, one can do that, and they're all helping you. How much easier is it for you to manifest? But a lot of the time when you tell your friends or other people what you want to create, it's a bit out there, they go, oh, I'm a bit worried about that. Do you think you'll lose your money? Oh, I'm not sure that's a good idea. And then we go into doubt around what our intuition and our guidance was, and we pack it in, we don't do it, we don't create it. Or it can take us years and years and years to create it. I know, I've experienced it. So crystals can actually act as a group of friends to empower what it is and activate what it is that you wish to create. So this is not a light crystal workshop, by the way, because I look at crystals in a different way to most people. So let's just look at a couple that I have here. Look, this is called Vera Cruz. This is a huge Vera Cruz crystal. They're very hard to get this size. Usually they're very small. And it's in a cross. Now, I would use this in a particular way in a grid that would really empower. What would it empower? Yeah? Just think about it. It's got 4 sides to it. What's the biggest symbol that's used on the planet? The cross, isn't it? Whether it's the Celtic cross or the cross they use in the Catholic Church or what have you. This crystal signifies that the two where this crystal was created, the 2 main energies, male and female, positive and negative, crossed over. That's what happens. See, people don't talk about this sort of stuff in their crystal workshops, but I will go there. So this crystal, for instance, is far more powerful than a normal Vera Cruz crystal. And actually this one has water in it as well. It has a water drop in it. And so you would use this if you wanted to call in the 4 elements of the planet to empower what it is you want to create. Now let's just go into that. The elements, earth, fire, air, water, ether, well this would represent the 5 actually because crystal is ether. Those elements are used in every single thing that is made manifest on this. Everything that is available on this planet, including plastic, is made out of the elements. So the crystals play a very important role in that. So that's just one thing that we'll talk about. Now, look here, look what I've got here. Double terminated quartz crystal. Well, actually, it's not just a normal quartz crystal. This is a recording crystal because it's got lots of lines on it. And double terminated means that the energy going out and the energy going in is equal. So these are very powerful when you want to put them in a grid, and I will teach you how to put them in the grid in the correct manner so that everything comes together, because I see a lot of grids and they're not flowing. So you have thousands of dollars worth of crystals and it's worth shit because they haven't activated it, the energy's not flowing, they're not connected. And then you have a single quartz crystal, but this is actually a smoky quartz crystal. And this is a powerful meditation crystal actually, and a dear friend of mine gave this to me. So, you know, we'll be looking at how we're going to create a grid out of all these different types of crystals. And these grids we can use for various different things. We can use them for planetary reasons. And look, I've got friends that have literally hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crystals that they use to create grids for the planet, for you and I. You know, unselfishly they do this. Beautiful. You can use a grid for planetary things. You can use a grid to protect your home, to protect your office, to call in the right energies, to keep the wrong energies out. You can use a grid for healing under your bed, or you can use a grid like I do in my healing work under my massage table, and I use a very complicated grid which I would share with you in more advanced class. But you can use a grid for helping the chakras to activate or to heal or to spin in the correct manner, so we're going to cover that as well. You can use a grid for anything really. And this is what I'm excited about. I'm really excited about sharing this information with you and getting together with you. And so what will happen, everyone that comes will pick one thing they want to bring into creation in their life. And we will program and devise a grid specifically for that they can take home and redo and leave it there and empower it each day or once a week or however they wish to do it. So we will do on that, we will also do a bit of drawing in that and a few other things. And there's other things you can use in grids like feathers, shells. These are for different energy forms, and we will cover that in the workshop. Now, I will be selling some crystals to help you because I know not everybody has a good supply of them. You particularly need clear quartz points. If you can get double terminated and single pointed, that's fantastic. You would need a long quartz like a Lemurian quartz or a goddess quartz for joining all the grid together. You would also, if you wanted to, bring the crystals that you've got at home, whether they're clusters, whether they're singular, we can use all of them. And it's really good to incorporate grounding stones and crystals, which means pyrite, hematite, balsite, shungite, these sort of things. They're really good to have. Magnetic crystals like lodestones, bodgy stones, they're excellent to use in grids as well, and particularly for grids in a healing situation. So think about what you're going to bring. I will bring some crystals with me. Probably I'll do up some different groups like a chakra one and clear quartzes. And I might bring some more earthy ones as well, because I know they're a bit hard to get. And so I can sell those to you, and I will not sell them at retail price. I will sell them just above wholesale, because obviously I've got to buy them. I'm not going to sell them for less than what I buy them for. So I will happily do that. You'll get them a lot cheaper than you would in any shop. And we can work together at creating also a grid that day for the planet that someone can be the guardian of, maybe, if we think about that. You know, I've had people, school teachers, do mandalas out of these different things with their students, and how much joy that brings to those students to have that in their classroom that they've co-created together. What a wonderful way to bring people together. So I'm really looking forward to running these two things in the last weekend of July 2019. I'm really looking forward to you coming. You'll find you can go to my website, lovelightandtruth.com. If the information isn't up there yet, please email me through lovelightandtruth.com.